There is a $15 bale of dried plant stalks that has kept water clear for more than 40 years. No chlorine, no algicide, no weekly trip to the pool store. You lower it into the water, you wait a few weeks, and the green stops coming back. A farmer stumbled onto it by accident. Scientists in England then spent 2 decades proving it was real, and almost nobody who dumps a bucket of shock into their water every summer has ever heard of it. So here's the question worth sitting with. If a bale of straw can hold algae back for pocket change, why is your entire pool routine built around products that cost 100 times more? The answer is the catch nobody mentions. And it's the whole point of this video. Because the truth about this $15 trick is more useful than the clickbait version, and a lot more honest. Start with the accident. Around 1980, on farmland in England, a farmer had a problem every pond owner knows: water going thick and green every summer. But one pond behaved differently. A load of straw had fallen in and rotted over the winter, and the next year that pond stayed clearer than the rest. Less algae, no chemicals, just straw left to decay in the water. It could have stayed farm folklore. It didn't, because someone decided to test it. Through the 1980s and into the 1990s, researchers at a British government laboratory, the Centre for Aquatic Plant Management near Reading, put that accident under controlled conditions. 2 names show up again and again: Jonathan Newman and PRF Barrett. They weren't selling anything. They were aquatic scientists asking a simple question: does rotting barley straw really stop algae, or did that farmer just get lucky? In 1990, a team published studies of barley straw as an algae inhibitor in an actual waterway, the Chesterfield Canal, and in the lab. In 1993, Newman and Barrett targeted a troublesome blue-green algae, Microcystis, using decomposing straw in the Journal of Aquatic Plant Management. By the late 1990s, other researchers were still chasing the harder question: what, chemically, was even doing the inhibiting? But on the basic point, they were clear. Barley straw, rotting in water, held back the growth of algae. The method crossed the Atlantic. Today it's written up by agricultural extension services at universities like Penn State and Rutgers, government-backed sources with no reason to hype a trend. So this isn't a TikTok hack, it's a 40-year-old discovery, born on a farm, proven in a lab. But notice what nobody had figured out, even after all that work. They could prove it worked. They still couldn't fully explain how. And that gap is where the real story starts. So how does a bale of dead straw stop something alive from growing? The honest answer is stranger than you would expect. After 30+ years of study, the exact mechanism still isn't fully nailed down. But the leading explanation goes like this. When barley straw sits in water with oxygen and sunlight, microbes and fungi colonize it and break it down. Straw is mostly lignin, the tough, woody stuff that lets a plant stand up straight. As that lignin decomposes, it releases complex organic molecules called humic substances into the water. On their own, nothing dramatic. But in sunlight with oxygen present, they appear to drive a slow reaction that produces tiny, continuous amounts of hydrogen peroxide, the same stuff that fizzes on a cut. At very low, steady levels, it interferes with the growth of new algae cells. And that word "new" is the whole key, because this is where almost everyone gets it wrong. Barley straw does not kill the algae already in your water. Scientists have a precise word for it: algistatic, not algicidal. Algicidal kills. Algistatic stops new growth. It's a brake, not a weapon. Drop it into a pond that's already thick green soup, and you'll wait. And nothing much happens to the green that's there. Think of it less like weed killer, and more like changing the soil, so new weeds struggle to take root. The plants already standing don't fall over. The next generation just has a much harder time getting started. Now put the two approaches side by side fairly. A conventional pool is built around correction. Water clouds, you add clarifier. Walls go green, you add algicide. Chlorine drops, you shock it. Then stabilizer, then phosphate remover, then you do it again next week. Every fix is a product. Every product is another trip to the store. That's not an accident. It's a business model. The water is never finished. It's corrected forever. A $15 bale of straw just sits there, working for months, costing nothing more. And this is the honest version of the industry hates this idea. There's no secret law against straw. Nobody outlawed it. It simply isn't a repeat purchase. No brand, no monthly sale, so the chemical aisle has no reason to put it in front of you. It wasn't buried by a villain. It was left out of the sales conversation. But fairness cuts both ways, and here's where straw loses. It's slow. 1 to 2 weeks in warm water, 6 to 8 in cold. It's preventive only, useless against a bloom that's already happening. It needs the right conditions. Oxygen, sunlight, moving water, straw floating loose near the surface. And there's a real danger in overdoing it. As straw decays, it consumes oxygen, and too much on a hot week can strip enough out to kill the fish. So, which one wins? It depends on the problem. Green water you need clear by the weekend, that's a job for fast treatment. Stopping green from ever showing up cheaply across a season in living water, that's what straw was made for. They're not enemies. They answer different questions. And before you pick, there's one thing the research forces us to be honest about, the part the clickbait always skips. Here's the catch I promised at the start. The evidence for barley straw is real. But it's not a clean, unbroken success story. Start with what the research clearly supports. A consistent effect against planktonic algae, the single-celled, free-floating kind that turns water into a green haze. On that, the extension services are fairly confident. Penn State calls it a successful technique in their ponds when the timing and dose are right. Now the part that surprised me, push past green water and the results get messy. Rutgers and Penn State are openly cautious about the other kinds, the stringy filamentous mats, the blue-greens. There, the trials disagree. Rutgers describes one at a New Jersey nursery where barley straw, used at the recommended rate, didn't hold back filamentous algae at all. Another, on a research farm, reduced it but didn't eliminate it. Same method, different ponds, different results. That inconsistency is the honest signature of this thing. It's not a switch you flip. It's a nudge to a living system. And living systems don't all respond the same way. And then there's the swimming pool problem, the one the title dances around. Almost all this research was done in ponds, lakes, and canals, not in a chlorinated pool. And a chlorinated pool is a hostile place for the trick to work because the whole effect depends on slow microbial decomposition. And chlorine exists to stop microbes doing anything. Worse, as the straw breaks down, it releases compounds that tint the water brown, react with chlorine to form disinfection byproducts, and can feed the bacteria that wreck your stabilizer. In a living pond, that's just part of the ecosystem. In a tank of chlorinated water, it's a problem. So the evidence does not say throw out your chemicals. It says something more precise. Barley straw is a genuine, researched way to prevent green water most reliably in living, low-chlorine water against the floating green kind applied before the trouble starts. Stretch it past that, and you're past where the science can back you up. So, close the loop we opened at the start. If a $15 bale of straw can really hold algae back, why is your whole routine built on chemicals? Because they were never fighting the same fight. chlorine and shock attack the green that's already there. The straw just makes sure less of it ever arrives. One corrects, one prevents, and almost nobody puts the second one in front of you, because there's no repeat sale in a bale of straw. So here's the honest version, all of it. That 40-year-old discovery is real. For the right water, a pond, a wildlife pool, a natural swimming pool, a quiet feature with little or no chlorine, a few dollars of rotting straw floated in the sun is a genuinely clever way to keep the green from ever showing up. The farmer wasn't imagining it. The English scientists weren't wrong. But it does not kill what's already there. It is not a sanitizer, and it never was. And in a chlorinated pool, it's usually the wrong tool, because chlorine kills the very decay the straw runs on. What changes isn't the water, it's you. Stop asking what to pour in next, and start asking what your water actually is. Light, nutrients, oxygen, the kind of pool you're really running. Get those right, and most of the green stops coming on its own. So the next time the water goes green and your hand reaches for another bucket, remember what those researchers found in a canal in England. It wasn't a chemical, it wasn't a machine, it wasn't the strongest thing on the shelf. It was a dead plant, rotting in the sun, making it harder for something else to live.